So I'm going to do a bit of a series on rebel leaders, and like how to kill them, what levels to kill, 3s, 4s, 5s, why, how to maximize your damage, like what formations to use, stuff like that. So before you even set up a formation, there's a few things you can do to increase your damage. First of all is mountain clan gear. So before saying anything else, stats like infantry, cavalry, spearman attack, military researches, badges, gear, stuff like that, they only affect troops. So because only commanders are involved against rebel leaders, the only things that take effect are these expedition damage buffs. And there's only a few ways in the game you can actually get these. So first of all is mountain clan gear. You primarily get this at this point from KVK solo rewards. I think you want to get everything to blue first for the set bonus, and then I'd get the offhand and the main hand up because they have the highest damage increase on them, so that will increase your damage most. Your lord has to be in the formation or you won't get these bonuses. So if my lord was Seg, but I was attacking without Seg against the rebel leader, I wouldn't get any of these buffs at all. So you might have to swap your lord in and out for rebel leaders specifically. And then outside of that there is expedition researches, obviously. I would recommend everyone to max that tree out, honestly. Like, it will help grow your alliance. It will even indirectly boost your stats because you'll have more motivation recovery and stuff like that, which will let you farm gear better long term. And with the Kingsguard set now, farming rebels for gear is more important than ever. With non-mega whales, it's one of the best ways to obtain stats. There are these damage scrolls, expedition damage scrolls. You can get 50% ones from AM rewards, I think, too. But these 25% ones mostly, I find, come from events, like elite and normal events. Are there any in here now? Maybe not. No. But I do a lot of training events, and these are often in there. They pop up all the time. And then the other ways is marching skin, which is pretty pay to win. I think it was a 2000 black diamond recharge reward for a Battle of a Long Night or Together in Winter event, whatever it was called back then. I got mine from the Return to Westeros chest for free, in theory. I think you could also get it in this last limited sale for 750 black diamonds. So it can be costly, but it has very good buffs. Obviously 20% damage increase, motivation limit, and then the own bonus is already solid too. And then with exterior, everyone should realistically have this, because whilst this one was paid, this was given for free on the anniversary event. For just, you could just claim it if you've been playing for, was it a year, I think, back until March of 2020. So I think most like seasoned players should have this now. So you always want to be swapping to this when you're hitting rebels. What to hit. So I'm going to refer to a guide I made for my Alliance's Discord. So all of this is fairly outdated now. It's been like almost a year ago now. But we did some testing on chest drops, and you can investigate off that data on what is best to hit. So we tested drops a ton to get a big sample size, and then we averaged it out to see the average drop per chest and what you'd get as an average value for all of these different rewards for every chest you open. So in theory, the average value of every blue chest you opened, at least back then in Reese at our alliance level, and with that, stay of the game, because I think chests have been stealthily nerfed. I was going to say buffed, I'm not sure they've ever been buffed, but I remember that when we made this especially, there was a lot of fuss at the time of level 3s specifically being nerfed, so we wanted to investigate it, and that's why we did this in the first place. So, in theory, if you opened 1,000 level 3 Rebel Leader chests, the average value from each of those that you opened would have 11 diamonds in it. That's how this worked. And also, black diamond chests actually have a different loot table to Rebel chests, if you didn't know. Which, in black diamond chests, you'll often find the diamond items, like the packs of them, like the 150 black diamonds. I mean, that's a big reason why alliance chests and the bigger alliances are so much better than the mid-tier ones. Just because mid-tier alliances mostly come from rebel chests, but those pack chests really boost up the gifts and the diamond income, especially. So with this data, you can start to see a correlation. I mean, there's a few interesting things here where you can see not only does the value of like diamonds, for example, and speed ups go up, but with diamonds specifically, the drop rate also increases. So only about 5% of level 3 chests were dropping diamonds for level 3s, but then it was 11% for 4s, and then almost 17% for level 5s. And that makes a big deal too. So with that data, we made an efficiency table based on these values. So what this is basically saying is, for every one level 5 Rebel Leader chest, the value you get from that is effectively the same as 3 level 4 Rebel Leader chests, and then 9 level 3 Rebel Leader chests. And then you can use this data to determine what Rebel Leaders are best for you to kill in terms of just chest value, through how quickly you can kill them, basically. So you can multiply up the 4s and the 5s to reach the same value as this. So killing 9 level 3s will be the same as killing 3 level 4s, will be the same as killing 1 level 5 in terms of just chest values. So if you see how much motivation it takes you to get to all of those points, you can then see sort of the tier list of what rebels you should be hitting. So free-shotting level 5s is very, very difficult for anyone who isn't like a mega whale with gold mountain clan and stuff. No one in my alliance has ever been even close to that, I think. I think most mid-tier players will be sticking around these points. So one-shotting level 3s being the most realistic best option is interesting because this is just testing the chest value. It isn't testing the material drops and drops in general from actually hitting the rebels. And that is a lot harder to test, I think, because RNG is so varying in that, like especially with the honor token now, if you hit a level 5 and you get like a 2 times gold main material, that is going to skew the data so much and just makes that so hard to test. And likewise, if you don't get it, it's going to be terrible because 5s are very high risk, high reward in that sense. And I think the general consensus of material farming is you want to go for like low risk, medium reward over high risk, high reward. You'd rather have the higher floor just because you're not going to get lucky. Let's be realistic. That's just how it works. You don't want to gamble. You don't want to roll your numbers into the lottery. I'd just take what you can get realistically and work with that. So in my mind, and it's entirely anecdotal, but level 3s are the best way to farm materials. And level 1s and 2s aren't on this list because they're terrible, basically. At least they always were when we tested this. Mostly because diamonds weren't in their loot table. And especially now with how many rebels are getting killed, they'll clog up the alliance gifts a lot. The only thing they're good at is they do level the alliance level faster for the alliance gifts. but it's not worth it at all. I'd only stick to 3s, 4s, and 5s. There's a reason why all the top alliances only ask for those levels of rebels to be killed. So, one-shotting level 3s is the most efficient, but it's basically the same actually as 4-shotting level 5s in terms of chest values. Obviously 3-shotting level 5s is way better than anything, but it's just so hard to get to that point. And then 2-shotting level 4s is quite a ways behind both of those options. So normally I find myself doing 2-shotting level 4s and 1-shotting level 3s. And just trying to push myself to the break points of being able to get to those. So obviously you want to realistically do over 50% on your first hit against a 4 to be able to do that. And you need to do 100% to a 3 for this, which can be difficult. I feel like in my experience to one-shot a level 3 you'll probably need to be doing like 60% on a first hit to a 4 with the same formation. An interesting thing you can see is that 5s in terms of chest values are actually ridiculous. Like even 7-shotting one level 5 would be better than 3-shotting level 4s, which is really weird to get your head around, because if you're actually doing it in practice, you're just going to feel like that is so inefficient because you're wasting so much motivation on just one chest. But from the stats, it is actually better somehow. You can see here that 2-shotting level 3s, which is something people do a lot, especially like free-to-play players, is significantly worse than 3-shotting 4s. Anything below this, I would never touch. At least, not unless you have no other option. If your commanders are very weak, and you can't get past these points, 4-shot level 4s, if you can, is much better than 3-shotting level 3s. 3-shotting level 3s is very bad. It's very, very inefficient. So this generally is what you want to go for, is you want to look at this list, or do the maths yourself with this information, and figure out what points you want to be aiming for, and then go for them and stick to them.